Nice that you looking at. Swifties. Taylor Swift fans Part 2. Swifties have been described as a loyal fanbase with high levels of participation and creativity. Devoted fans in overseas countries such as China translate her lyrics and coordinate large-scale Swift-related events. Their positive reception of Reputation, which was released after her 2016 controversy, demonstrated their commitment to her, irrespective of a tonal shift in her artistry and public perception. Billboard wrote the unprecedented success of Swift's re-recorded albums was further evidence of their loyalty. According to Willman, the re-record's success inspired other artists to weaponize fans in their business disputes. Author Amanda Petrusik described Swifties' allegiance as both mighty and frightening. The Guardian critic Rachel Arosty wrote, "You can't argue with her fanbase. Immaculately devout and mind-bogglingly populous. Swifties are a force, a large and powerful group," according to the music professor Paula Harper from the University of Chicago. The consumerist phenomenon of participating in or purchasing anything related to Swift has been termed the Taylor Swift effect by publications. To business scientists Brendan Canavan and Claire McCamley, the relationship between Swift and Swifties represents postmodern consumerism. Sociologist Brian Donovan opined, "It is easy to dismiss the frenzy surrounding Swift as mindless hero worship. Yet, the Swifties have shown the power of fandom to create social bonds that transcend consumerism." He praised Swift's ability to tap into the collector mindset in her fandom. Arthur opined, "People like to frame Swifties as an extreme case. But it sort of functions the same way as in sports." Claire Cohen opined in Evening Standard that there is an underlying misogyny in the way Swifties are portrayed by the media, often male authors, as some Victorian hysteria, irrational and shallow. Cohen stated that liking her music is looked down on by those who consider themselves arbiters of what's culturally good enough, in the same way as romantic literature by women is written off as mere chick lit. The fan frenzy, generally termed Swift mania, has been considered the 21st century equivalent to Beatlemania by journalists such as John Bream of Star Tribune, who said, "Swift has achieved a once unthinkable monoculture, a Zeitgeistian redux of Beatlemania. Shows and television programs featuring Swift often experience viewership peaks due to Swifties. Super Bowl LVIII experienced higher viewership due to Swift's relationship with Kansas City Chiefs player Travis Kelce." Apart from music artists who have cited Swift as an influence, such as Olivia Rodrigo, Halsey and Camila Cabello, various other celebrities have described themselves as Swifties. Swifties have been widely covered for their support for Swift in terms of her commercial success. Swift is known for her large CD and vinyl sales despite the 21st century music scene having shifted to a largely digital industry. From 2014 to 2015. Swift contested music streaming services Spotify and Apple Music to regulate their policies to protect artists' integrity. She announced that 1989, her first ever pop music album, would not release on Spotify and Apple Music, protesting the platform's minuscule payments to musicians. Some journalists, such as Nilay Patel of Vox, criticized Swift's beliefs. Patel said that the internet sabotaged the album format and claimed that most fans would not shop for a Swift CD anymore. Many industry personnel felt that Swift's departure from country music and streaming platforms would impact the album's sales. Publications predicted 1989 to not sell over 1 million copies in its first week like her previous albums Speak Now, 2010, and Red, 2012, did. However, 1989 was an unprecedented success for Swift despite the lack of streaming support. Widely purchased by fans as CDs from Target, the album sold 1.28 million copies in its opening week. In the 2020s, Swifties have also been credited with being one of the factors behind the vinyl revival. Swift's album LP variants have been sold exclusively at small businesses, driving their profits. Swift's fans increased the publicity surrounding her 2019 Masters dispute with Big Machine and American businessman Scooter Braun, and drove the success of her re-recording efforts. An online petition launched by a fan on Change.org, calling Braun and Borchetta to stop holding Swift's art hostage, garnered 35,000 plaintiffs in its first 3 hours. Michael Jones, a managing director of Change.org, described the petition as one of the fastest growing petitions on the platform this month. Braun, however, claimed that Swift weaponized her fanbase by making the dispute public. Swifties also discovered that the Carlyle Group, a partner of Braun in the dispute, supplies weapons to the civil war in Yemen, which was confirmed by publications such as the New York Times. Swift's works, including concert tours such as the Eras Tour, are known to stimulate surrounding economies. The economic impact, driven largely by Swifties and attributed to the booming travel, lodging, cosmetic, fashion, and food businesses, boosts tourism revenues of cities by large margins. The Los Angeles Times described Swifties as an economic microcosm. In November 2022, the U.S. pre-sale of the Eras Tour was mishandled by Ticketmaster, receiving widespread public and political scrutiny due to astronomical fan demand. The Ticketmaster website crashed, but 2.4 million tickets had been sold, breaking the record for the most concert tickets sold by an artist in a single day. Ticketmaster attributed the crash to historically unprecedented site traffic. Fans and consumer groups accused Ticketmaster of deceit and monopoly. The intense fan reactions caused several members of U.S. Congress to highlight the merger of Ticketmaster and its parent company Live Nation Entertainment, and the U.S. Department of Justice to open an investigation into Live Nation Ticketmaster, while several fans sued the companies for intentional deception, fraud, price fixing, and antitrust law violations. Under pressure from U.S. President Joe Biden, Ticketmaster and other ticketing companies agreed to terminate junk fees. Entertainment Weekly and the AV Club listed Swifties vs. Ticketmaster as one of the biggest cultural news stories of 2022. CNN journalist Alison Morrow wrote in an article titled, "One Nation Under Swift," that Swift's fans united the parties against Ticketmaster in a way the Founding Fathers failed to anticipate, noticing the growing trend of Swift-themed dance parties in the world. Industry commentators found that Swift's cultural position as a staple in the 21st century music landscape allowed nightclubs to profit from her by hosting specialized events for fans. One such party is Swiftogeddon, which began as a one-off Swiftie event in London and grew into a UK-wide club night tour that sells out every weekend. American reality television programs such as Dancing with the Stars and The Voice hosted special Swift-themed nights in 2023. Swiftie trends have also inspired various brands. The AV Club stated that, usually, pop stars are products and fandom is the consumer, but Swifties are a product themselves. For instance, the phrase, seemingly ranch, became viral after a fan account on Twitter used it to caption a photo of Swift's snacks at a National Football League game, spawning a string of memes and causing food companies like Heinz, McDonald's, KFC, Hidden Valley and Primal Kitchen to pick it up for their products and marketing. Journalists have also noted an increase in Swift's Boomer and Generation X fans, known as senior Swifties. Black Swifties have claimed that they often face derision from other black people who question the racial status of black Swifties for being fans of a white artist. Brooke Schultz of the Associated Press called Swifties an influential voter demographic in U.S. politics. The sheer power and size of Swift's fandom has spurred conversations about economic inequality, merely symbolized by Ticketmaster. According to a 2023 survey reported by The Times, 53% adult Americans consider themselves fans of Swift, ratings that journalist Ellie Austin said Biden and Trump can only dream of. Austin explained that though Swift herself is left-aligned, some conservatives still covet her, making her a deciding factor in the U.S. politics. In May 2023, Texas approved the law titled Save Our Swifties, banning the use of bots to bulk purchase tickets. Similar bills were launched in various U.S. states and the U.S. Congress. Internationally, presidential candidates such as Gabriel Boric in Chile and Leni Robredo in the Philippines have appealed or marketed themselves to Swifties during their respective election campaigns. The Islamic State planned to mass murder attendees of one of Swift's Eras tour shows in Vienna, Austria, in a plot that was thwarted by Austrian authorities. Swifties formed the Swifties for Kamala coalition in 2024 to help get Democratic candidates elected up and down the ballot, with focus on the campaign of Kamala Harris in the 2024 U.S. presidential election. Though not affiliated with Swift herself, Swifties for Kamala received support from public figures and politicians such as Carole King, Elizabeth Warren, Kirsten Gillibrand, Ed Markey, Chris Deluzio, Becca Balint, and Anderson Clayton. Swifties have been the subject of journalistic and academic interest, studied for their social capital, consumerist characteristics, and interpersonal relationships. Their prolific content creation, digital savvy, organizing capacity, and sometimes vicious online behaviors are also subjects of study, as per Internet culture researchers Christina Lopez and Avnish Chandra. Donovan distinguished Taylor Swift fans from Swifties, opining that the latter are a subculture characterized by collective effervescence, unlike other fan bases. Some linguists termed the Swifties fan-coded, lyrics-based language or fanelect. A 2023 network map published by Lopez and Chandra divided Swifties into 6 distinct factions based on online interactions and topics of discussion. A 2024 qualitative study of Indonesian Swifties claimed that the parasocial interaction with Swift and the interactions between Swifties satiates the fans' social media gratifications for entertainment, social interactions, and information-seeking. Various universities also host fan clubs dedicated to Swift. This is the end of the video. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye.